Sony pissed off everybody and their grandmother yesterday when they announced that by the beginning of June, everybody that wants to play Helldivers 2 on PC would have to link their Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account, or they would no longer be able to play the game. And yeah, everything just went nuclear yesterday. The gamers are upset. If you look at the Steam reviews, it is being review bombed to high hell. Reading some of these reviews, you could tell there's a huge amount of backlash to the point where even the creative director and CEO of Arrowhead put a tweet saying, ouch. They know they messed up, ladies and gentlemen. It seems that they're pointing the finger left and right. We even had community managers sassing people up quite a bit on Discord yesterday. Spitz, the infamous one, being a little rude. And I guess maybe the heat got too hot for the kitchen because today they are backtracking and they're making several different announcements. For one, they're saying that countries that don't have access to PlayStation Network will not require gamers to do that in order to play Helldivers 2, which kind of defeats the purpose. I thought all of this was because they wanted to be able to ban people a lot easier. Thought it wanted to aid in moderation by connecting Steam and PlayStation Network together. I guess they're just not going to moderate these people in these countries, right? They don't get to sign up with added protection, right? Added protection with a PlayStation account. Nope. Wrong. Guess what? These countries aren't even going to be able to buy the game at all. Yeah, instead of Sony and Arrowhead backtracking this bonehead decision of requiring gamers to sign up for a PlayStation account in order to play this game, they'd rather just not sell to you. Imagine being in one of these countries that doesn't have PlayStation Network and you don't have the game yet. They would rather not have your money than backtrack on this decision. They are literally doubling down, and this is a case of the most retarded thing that I've seen in gaming in quite some time. And I know there's a lot of people on Twitter and on social media asking, what's the big deal? You sign up for a PlayStation account when you have the console, and you sign up for one when you sign up with Steam, and everything gets hacked and blah, blah, blah. That's not the point. Right here, there was a bait and switch, guys. Whether you want to say it was in the terms of service when you got this game a couple months ago, it was always an optional type of thing to sign up for. It was never required to have a PlayStation account. It was something that you could just skip over. And now, months later, they baited and switched and made it to where you have to get one. You have to sign up one. And okay, yeah, maybe this is a petty little problem, but on the bigger issue of what's going on with the gaming industry, it's really not. And if you're kind of downplaying this, you don't see the bigger picture here of why gamers are mad, why gamers want full refunds, why gamers are tired of industry practices that are anti-consumer. Think about it. All this caused this much of a meltdown, and Sony and Arrowhead refused to backtrack and just take away the decision. They would rather not sell you the video game if you're in an area that doesn't have PlayStation Network. And don't even think about using a VPN. It's against the TOS of PlayStation Network to use a VPN to hide where you're at. So if you're in China, don't even think about using a VPN to have a United States IP, because you will get banned forever on PSN. This is all honestly just a mess. And, looking at what's going on with this situation, it's so weird and wild to see that suddenly they want to have this. They want this as a way to control gamers. It might sound a little paranoid. It might sound a little tinfoil hat. But if you really think about it, requiring people to have a mandatory login for PlayStation Network, or else they're going to be locked out of a game that they paid their hard-earned money for, and hiding the fact that this is for moderation purposes is pretty wild. Can't you moderate gamers without having to make a mandatory login? You were doing it for 3 months. You didn't have it mandatory. So what's honestly kind of interesting about this is that you could see people on the internet are piling up on this. Look at this Rand Douglas tweet saying, let me start by saying, I know it's not you guys, but Sony who's holding the metaphorical gun here. But some countries that have your players literally cannot make PSN accounts because Sony does not recognize them on PSN. What's going to happen to those players? And you can see even the creative director, the CEO of Arrowhead, doesn't even know what's going on. We are discussing that question with our partners at PlayStation and trying to find a solution. And Spitz, who is the one that sassed everybody, says that they were completely unaware with how many countries didn't have the ability to make a PSN account when they made the statements, and they deeply regret implying that it was so easy for everyone to just sign up and not have to worry about it. It's not their intention to force people to break Sony TOS or just not play the game if they're in restricted region. There needs to be a better solution. So it seems like Arrowhead is doing a little bit of damage control, especially with this community manager who pissed a lot of people off yesterday. You can see he was kind of being sassy with this whole "I thought you were leaving and refunding" comment. I bet he got a severe reprimanding. I can't even speak right now. My tongue is all over the place, just like Arrowhead and Sony's decisions are all over the place when it comes to this game. Just yesterday, Spitz was saying that all this feedback is not going to change much. Basically saying nobody gives a shit if we're upset or anything like that. Well, now they're changing their tone. They're telling people to make your displeasure known through reviews, refunds, etc., because it gives them more pull in discussions with Sony. So everything changed overnight. That's kind of strange. Now, I did get decent feedback in my comment section in regards to this whole topic. Some people were trying to say that my video was misleading. Everything that I've used was from news websites, news articles, and Twitter, happening in real time. I'm not a 24-hour CNN news reporter. When you're watching this, something else might have popped up. It might be obsolete. Do you people that are fucking retarded not understand how the internet works? There's always those people in the comment sections that have a little bit of the tism, that don't understand how news works, that it happens in real time. Anyways, the negative feedback is definitely piling up, and the player base is starting to melt, guys. Peak concurrent players just the other day only reached 115,130 players, down from about 120K from May 3rd and 119,571 from May 2nd. So you can see it is starting to dwindle. And on top of that, again, the player base review scores is basically becoming overwhelmingly negative over the last couple of days. Over 62,477 negative reviews and only 252 positive reviews on Friday. But today, on Saturday, May 4th, it received over 94,055 negative reviews and 0 positive reviews. So people are pissed off at this game. I think this is it. I think this is 110% it for Helldivers 2. They ruined it. Their community manager sass, just their lack of organization, this huge bait and switch. I'm sorry, Helldivers 2 fans. I think this is it for the game. I think they screwed themselves. Sony managed to not fuck up just one game, but 2 games this week with Stellar Blade and Helldivers 2. And I think they're slowly but surely starting to become very anti-consumer as a company. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me know down below.